What's up, everybody? It's your boy Steve with the Black STEVEE, the Black. I'm back, and I'm here to give you my breakdown pay-per-view review. The very next pay-per-view in the Austin era, the Attitude Era, right? Um, so I want to say 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I finished watching SummerSlam 1998. I thought it was a very good show. The very first pay per view that I gave I think it was a B or a B plus to, because I thought the show was very, very good. So breakdown is the pay per view after that. Did WWE continue their momentum? Did they put on a pretty good show, or was it terrible? Well, let's find out. So the very first match, opening contest, was Owen Hart taking on Edge, and a match. Both breakdown was in Canada. I don't remember which part. I think it was Toronto. So Edge, homecoming for him. For Owen, back in his home country of Canada. Match. I ended up giving the match a 2.5 out of 5. The match was okay, but it seemed really random. Like, I don't know why these two are facing, which is a very common theme in this pay per view. Nothing really stood out to me. The match ends when we see a mysterious person who shows up at ringside and distracts Edge long enough for Owen Hart to get the roll up and for the win. Everyone's like, "Yo, who the heck was that? Is it a fan? Who is it?" And so the person leaves and Edge follows him. So who is this person? I don't know, but I mean, I already know who it is, but we at the time do not know who it is. So that's very interesting to find out who this guy is. Next up, we had Al Snow and Scorpio taking on the team of Too Much. Earlier in the week, Al Snow had beat Sergeant Slaughter in his own boot camp match to earn himself a WWE contract. After the match, he was getting beat down until Scorpio came out to help him. So now this leads to this tag team match. I ended up giving the match a 2 out of 5. Again, I didn't think there was anything really special about the match. But y'all know Al Snow, he carries that, mantique head with him. And he starts, while the ref was distracted, he starts hitting people, the team of Too Much with it. But then he even hits Scorpio. And I'm thinking, oh, what's going on? Is he turning heel? But no, it almost cost him the match, but it did not. They still end up winning the match. Al Snow and Scorpio, so that's good for them. But after the match, Scorpio was like, "Yo, man, what was up with that?" He's like, "Come here, we need to talk about this." Other than that spot right there where Al Snow hit Scorpio, I don't know if it was an accident or not, but he did end up hitting him and almost cost him the match. So, give me a sec, guys. My throat is kind of parched, and I need something to drink. So bear with me for just a second. That's good. That's good. All right. Next up, we have Mark Mero taking on Drozdov in a match. Earlier in the week, Jacqueline had defeated Sable with Mark Mero's help to become the new women's champion. But she was not presented a belt that night, and it was Sunday, and she still didn't have a belt. So, how is she Raw Women's, or not Raw? How is she Women's Champion if she doesn't have a belt? How can you be champion of something and don't have a belt, to show for it? It doesn't make any sense. The match was very boring. I ended up giving it a 1 out of 5. Like, I was just like trying not to fall asleep. Again, another random match just put together. The match ends when Jacqueline helps. I believe she trips up Drozdov enough for Mark Merrill to hit the his finishing move, and then he hits another. I think he hits a 450 splash off the top rope to beat Drozdov for the win. Again, 1 out of 5. Did not care for it. So far, we got a common trend here. Don't care for it. Don't care for it. Don't care for it. We are not off to a good start here. Next up, we had Vader taking on Bradshaw in a no holds barred false count anywhere match. I am giving this match 2 out of 5. Once again, did not care for it at all. I don't even wait. Yeah, I don't even remember anything. Okay, you know what? I do remember something. I take that back. The ending of the match. Vader ends up hitting a Vader bomb onto Bradshaw, but he kicks out. Bradshaw then proceeds to give him 2 clotheslines from hell, but Vader ends up kicking out of both, and then he hits him with a neck breaker, and then Vader loses after that. Bradshaw pins him in the ring 1, 2, 3. That makes no sense. If you wanted to show Vader's strength, why not just hit him with 3 clotheslines from hell? You know, that makes more sense than hitting him with a neck breaker and then going for the cover. That makes no sense whatsoever. Again, I gave this a 2 out of 5, but I really should have given it a 1 because, again, didn't really care. But it wasn't as bad as the previous match, which is why I guess I gave it a 2. Next up, Gangrel taking on D'Lo Brown in a match. Again, another match just thrown together. This doesn't make any sense. Both of these guys are heels. Why are they fighting each other? I think there was another point in this match that the crowd was actually cheering for, or they were chanting boring actually, which they were right because again, this match makes no sense. The match ends when Mark Henry comes down. He distracts Gangrel long enough for D'Lo to hit his power bomb and beats him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Afterwards, Gangrel spits some blood in Mark Henry's face and then takes out D'Lo, and then that's that. I ended up giving it 2 out of 5. Again, a little more interested in it than the Mark Merrill match, which is why it gets a 2 out of 5, but it probably should have been a 1.5 for both of this and the Bradshaw match because, again, this show is just so random. Just throwing it's like they were focused on one thing, and that was the main event, and they were like, oh, screw everything else. We'll just throw some stuff together because that is clearly what's going on here. Next up, we have a triple threat steel cage match between Mankind, Shamrock, and The Rock. The winner will become the #1 contender for the WWF Championship. I gave this match a 4 out of 5. It was a great match, my favorite match of the night. Memorable moments for me in the match is when The Rock he has Shamrock in position for the People's Elbow, and he calls Mankind over. He's like, come on. We're going. I guess he was making it seem like they were going to do it to the People's Elbow together or something. I don't know. But then he scoops up Mankind and slams him down, and then goes for a double People's Elbow. So I thought that was pretty cool. And there were a lot of dumb moments in here, but it was like questionable things. Like there would be somebody climbing on top of the cage, and instead of just walking through the door, they're like, no, let me go up there and climb top of the cage and try to stop you. What? That doesn't make any sense. Just go out through the door. You know? So there were a couple times that Shamrock tried to escape. One of the last attempts that he had, he grabs a steel chair on the outside, he brings it in, he tries to use it on is it raining? I think it is. He tries to use it on Mankind. Mankind ducks, hits him with a DDT, and then Mankind just smacks the heck out of Shamrock with that steel chair. And instead of going for the cover, which you can do in this match, Mankind decides to climb the cage, and that allows The Rock to crawl over, to Shamrock for the cover, for the win. But Mankind thinks he won because he jumps out of the cage and lands on the floor. But The Rock is the winner. For once, I'm like, finally, someone does something smart, you know? While I do have to question people's decision-making in the match itself, again, was fun. The crowd was into it. It was a really, really fun match. After the match, Shamrock's angry. He's upset. He's got the steel chair, and he's walking around. Is this the makings of a heel turn? I don't know. But I definitely think Shamrock will be better as a heel, so we'll see how this goes. Definitely interested. Next up, we had Val Venus taking on Dustin Reynolds. The story of this match is basically, Dustin, he's a Christian. He's trying to tell the people about Jesus coming back, just like me. I'm a Christian, trying to tell the world about Jesus coming back and what he did for me. All that's good stuff. And then I can't remember. I guess because Val Venus is sinning, because he's going around sleeping with all these different women, which is a sin, and so he attacks him. So I guess he's the heel in this situation. Which, if you're talking about Jesus, you are never ever the heel. Trust me on that. But he does that so to get revenge on him. He ends up sleeping with his wife, which, if you don't recall, maybe I don't know if I said it or not. Late last year, the year prior, Goldust actually left his wife because he said that she doesn't let him do what he wants to do, and he doesn't feel like his true self, so he wants to go do that. So he left his wife. Well, I guess what comes around goes around, because now, while they were trying to recounsel the marriage, Terry ends up being with Val Venus. And so the story of the match is, every time Dustin tries to get going, Val is just there, and he's counting because he can't focus because his wife is at ringside cheering on Val Venus the whole entire time. So understandable and everything like that. It was pretty special. I mean, I ended up giving the match 3 out of 5. It was nothing special or spectacular about the match. I mean, Val Venus did end up winning, but I could just sense, again, it's very hard for me to not root for Dustin because, he's a Christian. He's trying to save his marriage, but he did walk out on his marriage. He was wrong for that, but, like I said, whenever you're doing things for Jesus, you're never the heel. You're never the bad guy. So, but other than that, I mean, the story was good and relatable, and I could understand it and all. So the match was pretty good, so I gave it a 3 out of 5. Next up, we had Double J and Southern Justice taking on DX, so X-Pac and the New Age Outlaw. I ended up giving the match a 2.5 out of 5. There was nothing really special about the match. It was a standard 6-man tag team match. I mean, the only real thing that sticks out was X-Pac got hit in the head with the guitar, but that didn't lead to Southern Justice and Double J winning because DX ended up winning the match. So I don't really know what the point of that was. But, I mean, like I said, it was a pretty standard match, so it gets a 2.5 out of 5 for me. And then finally, we have the main event, which is Austin taking on Undertaker and Kane in a triple threat match. I thought the match was pretty good. I thought it dragged on a little bit too long because there's only so long you can constantly just keep attacking Austin, Undertaker, and Kane teaming up. It starts off with Kane coming out first, and then Taker was going to come out, but then Austin hit him with the chair. Smart decision to take him out. And so he gets in the ring. He's fighting Kane, smart decision making. I'm thinking, hurry up, hit the stunner, hit the stunner, hit the stunner. He hits the stunner on Kane, but by the time he does that, Taker is back. Taker is back. And now he and Kane are working together. But it's starting to get to a point now where Kane goes for the cover, Taker takes him off. Taker goes for the cover, Kane takes him off. They're fighting each other. They both want to be WWE champion. That happened a couple times during the match, giving us hope, thinking, oh man, Austin can do it, he can do it. But it's not meant to be. Kane and Undertaker get their bearings together just long enough to hit a double choke slam for the 1, 2, 3, a double cover. Sure, there's no clear-cut WWE or WWF champion. Vince comes down, he takes the belt, he runs off. Austin follows him to the back after beating up Briscoe. And then McMahon flips him off and says, "This is mine now. You're never getting this back." And then he drives away in his limo. And that's how the pay-per-view ends. I gave the triple threat a 3.5 out of 5. Second best match of the night after the triple threat steel cage match, but I thought, like I said, I thought the match went on a little bit too long because there's only so long you can beat somebody up and continue to do the same thing of, oh no, I want to be WWF champion. No, I want to be WWF champion. And then you attack each other. And then 2 seconds later, you're working together again. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But other than that, I thought that was a pretty good match. So final grade for a breakdown, I gave it a D+, because if it wasn't for the triple threat steel cage match and the main event, this pay-per-view would have got an F, because This pay-per-view was so terrible. It was clearly thrown together, no thought into it whatsoever besides the main event. Like I just don't know, understand how you can do stuff like that. Like how, I mean, you had a great pay-per-view in SummerSlam. That was a B. How could you follow that up with this piece of garbage crap that was WWF Breakdown? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But time to move on to the next pay-per-view. The next pay-per-view is indeed Judgment Day. So far, what I know, it's going to be Kane versus The Undertaker with Stone Cold for the WWF title with Stone Cold as a special guest referee. That should be interesting. Should be fun. Hopefully the match doesn't suck, though, because Kane and Undertaker, for whatever reason, never have great matches. But maybe with Stone Cold in the mix, it'll be a little interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. That's all I got. Couple things to note. I believe right now the fourth quarter is going on in the Sixers-Celtic game. Sixers about to get swept, so my final thoughts will be on that coming out later today. Also coming out today, SummerSlam review after SummerSlam is over, so look forward to that. So we got 2 more videos coming out today, guys. Looking forward to talking about it and breaking it down with you. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the WWF breakdown. Again, final grade D+. This was not a great pay-per-view. It was clearly thrown together, and the only thing that mattered was the main event. So, coming up next, Judgment Day. Looking forward to that. So if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out. And I'll talk to you guys maybe in an hour, a couple minutes. We'll see. Depends on when the game's over and all that. So, peace out.